There's this new functionality that kind of AI summary.
Mm-hmm.
You should see there's a maybe I will click the start summary. So later on we can put the summary of the meeting in
In
the
the
issue
chat.
or in the
Okay.
chat as well. Yeah.
All
Let's try it.
right. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me see. Pam, pam, pam. Do you have it on, Lucas? Oh yes, that summary is fine. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Are we live yet? I don't think so.
No, we're definitely live. Live on YouTube for sure.
Okay. Let me check Twitter and LinkedIn. All right. We're live. We are live.
You're alive.
We are alive and we are live. All right. Do you want us to wait a few more minutes until everyone joins? I forgot how to host community. This
You
is
forgot
funny.
what? Sorry?
I'm saying I forgot how to host community meetings.
I mean, New Year. What can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I just discovered a new live streaming platform, social streaming, I mean, live space.
Um,
More social networks.
Mice? MySpace?
No, live space, live.
Oh, live
Live
space.
space. Which is not enough, apparently.
Okay, 2 more minutes, then we can start. Okay, I think we can start. I don't see anybody joining you. That will catch us on the way. All right, hi everyone. We are back. We are live. We are kicking. It's 2024. It's January. We are almost at the end of January, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because it is quite interesting because we are almost in February. I hope you had a good New Year and holidays. So today I'm joined by Lucas and Pedro. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Lucas.
Yeah,
All
hello.
right. I'm standing in for Ace. Ace couldn't join us today, so there's no agenda today. So I don't know. Do we have any interesting topics
Yeah,
before
there's one.
I do? Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I promised. I mean, it's not in the agenda, but yeah, I promised in my discussion about the 2024 budget that I will
Mhm.
kind of explain it quickly, also on the video. So I would definitely like to take like 10 minutes to share the overview of the budget.
Okay. Perfect. The floor is yours. Can
Oh,
take it
okay, now, okay,
away.
perfect. So
Mhm.
un momento. Desktop 3. Can you see? What can you see? Can you see the budget discussion? Okay. So that will be quick unless there are some questions. But let me first drop a link in the chat. Chat now here. Okay. So yeah, the basically the discussion that I'm sharing is the plan for a budget for 2024 for Async API initiative. So just to highlight some of the most important topics. So the predicted planned credit that we will receive this year from all the sponsors is $78,000. We can plan such credit because we have regular donations from Swix, Bump, Solace, and also we have already a official confirmation from IBM that they will renew the platinum sponsorship. So yeah, we're gonna receive in one transfer $24,000. I am also internally in process of getting a gold Postman as a gold sponsor. So yeah, so we don't only have people from Postman working on the project, but also now officially even some money from Postman. And HiveMQ also confirmed they already received the invoice this week and now just processing it internally. So we will have a new silver sponsor as well, and they will pay upfront. And I also calculated, and looks like we're actually every month collecting $300 in a year from individual contributors, people that individually pay to the project. Something important to notice from this credit and something to know about this budget is that it's not something that is like this budget. It's not something that is written in stone. Actually, every quarter I'm gonna have to have another look on the budget, and might be that there will have to be some adjustments because as you can see, we have 3 sponsors that are paying on monthly basis through a credit card subscription. And in the past, it happened that in the middle of the year, some sponsor was like stopped paying. Actually, last year, some sponsor stopped paying and they didn't even know, probably because they didn't even notice that some credit card expired. So it might happen that the assumed, for example, $24,000 from Solas might stop at some point of time in the year. So the planned credit is, like it's a pretty fragile, let's say, assumption. But yeah, we have to have some assumptions in the budget. So that's it if it comes to planned credit. Plus we have 47,000. Like actually it's 50 because I was doing it, when we still had some expenses in the process. But yeah, around 50,000 bucks left from last year, which makes in total 126,000. But planned debit, like expenses, it's not full amount. I made sure that we have like 20% secure budget, like something that we did not plan to spend, which makes it 24,000. There was a really valid question from Simon about like even if it's not too small amount, like 24, comparing to 47 that we saved last year. It is less, like basically 20,000 less. But we also know that, like for example, me, I'm focused almost fully on getting new sponsors to the project. There are already some in the pipeline, some that we discuss with. So we can, assume that again, this amount will be much higher this year. So the plan is that whatever new donations will come, they will be a safe credit for next year, unless we don't have too many sponsors for the conference and we want to sponsor some travels related to conference. But yeah, that's it if it comes to the starting point. Now, the planned expenses is, first of all, like last year, community manager, which is Tuli. We extend a contract for a year. That's at least the proposal, which, as you can see, is here. Then something new in the budget is marketing. It's not called marketing manager or marketing specialist, because here it's something that we basically have to discuss once the budget is approved, because we basically need to research. I don't have a clear answer if we should basically hire someone for a year doing marketing, or maybe we should think only about some specific projects that we want to put on marketing, and then we should hire maybe a marketing specialist just for specific tasks. Like, I don't know, for example, one of the topics is we are using Twitter and LinkedIn, but we do it without any strategy. So might be that we use this marketing budget to basically, part of this budget to use to hire some expert in social media that can review what we do the analytics, and, for example, propose what should be the future of how Async API handles social media. Another example can be like, for example, how we should do the marketing around some important things we do at Async API. Like, for example, we have this different new things on the website, like tooling section, where the whole community can share their tools and exchange information and their projects, and it's easy to add your own project to it. Would be nice to advertise it in a much wider community, but yeah, would be good to have some expert that can say like, do it this way or do it that way. So that's why there's no clear, at least from my side, no clear recommendation what we should do with the budget, if it's just hiring someone part-time or full-time, or basically project by project. The Async API mentorship. So yeah, it's like we did last year and 2 years ago. We want to continue. So there's a certain budget planned. The amounts here is just my comment, what I took into account. So it doesn't mean that we're going to do it this year, that it's going to be 1,500 bucks for a mentee, and that this year we're going to pay 500 to the mentor. It's just what I took into account when planning the budget. But yeah, it's again like the program lead and the community is to decide like how this 16,000 bucks will be spent. Conventor, like, of course, the best scenario will be if Conventor can finance itself, have separate sponsors. That's also the plan that we would work on. Actually, like last year, for example, IBM explicitly asked if they have to save some budget also for sponsoring the conference. So we will have these discussions. So in theory, even this 2,000 bucks will not have to be spent. Maybe we will be able to cover even swags and other marketing stuff through the conference budget. But for now, like, at least to be on a safe position, at least with swags, the minimum is saved in the budget. Especially if the sponsors will, let's say, they come late before some event and we need to order swags earlier. So we need to have some budget for that. Bounty program, that was already actually discussed previously. Last year, we had this separate discussion about program that we want to have 20,000 bucks a year. Something that I'll change here after the meeting, because I had the discussion with the project lead, the program lead, the bounty program lead, and yeah, he figured basically that 5,000 does not, if we deduct it by 500, then it's 4,500, which is pretty hard to divide by 4 or 2. And I'm not sure if you know, but like basically for advanced issue in the bounty, we pay for 400 and 200 if it comes to medium issues. And yeah, of course, then there is a problem because some money will stay in the budget and we won't be able to spend it anyway. So the change here is that we're gonna have I propose basically 400 for a bounty program coordinator to get this every quarter for handling the bounty, because there's it's actually a lot of work with the bounty program to go the coordination. So we should give back to the program lead here. Ambassador program, yeah, it's 2,000 bucks basically on after discussing with Barbaño that leads the ambassador program. 2,000 bucks is the estimation of how much we're gonna have to spend on the swags for new ambassadors, because we have a welcome package for new ambassadors, and we also on demand, if they need some stickers for some conference where they go, we also buy these and send to ambassadors. So we need to have this 2,000 bucks secured. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Now Swag Store, the estimated costs are 10,000, including also the free shipments that we offer, like like you can imagine, we have like this mentees, mentors from mentorship programs. We give them away swags and swag packs for participation, which also has to be covered from the shipping costs perspective. And there's the whole maintenance of the swag store, which this year will cost us $10,000. And to last, so luckily there's just one third-party service that we have to pay for. It's now the cost is around $1,000 a year. It's for the Zoom accounts, because like several people that help running the community, Tuli, me, Ace, and a few others, yeah, we need to have Zoom accounts so we can organize meetings. And last but not least, JSON schema. So we, because we're pretty good in collecting money, and like Async API was always pro open source and give back to community. And Async API as a project depends like big time on JSON schema. So for very long already, actually a few years, and actually Async API was sponsor of JSON schema even before I joined 3 years ago. So yeah, it's like $250 per month Async API sponsors to JSON schema, and I just want to make sure we continue and secure $3,000 this year. Yeah, that's it. There was a lot of it. Any questions? Okay, perfect. So I'll it was created last week, but because I promised that I'm gonna do this video explanation as well about the budget at this meeting. So the basically once I had the recording after the meeting, I upload it to the budget discussion, and then like we have like 7 days to make any changes to it, and then yeah, let's see how it goes with the budget. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Sorry about
All
the.
right.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was just out of curiosity for next year is the Async API conference on tour is gonna be more or less the same format than past the last year, or it's gonna be something different?
Before I answer, Tuli, was it your topic after my topic now to talk about Async API on
Yes.
tour? Okay,
Ah,
so
perfect.
so yeah, you're gonna
Mm.
answer that, I guess.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
All right, perfect. So the next thing is the conference. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay, which screen is it, by the way? Yeah. Let me know if it's visible.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me also share the link to the discussion. Okay, so basically, last year we learned a lot about the conference, and the most important was planning early. So this year we decided that we should stick like to 4 conferences based on what we learned last year, in terms of timelines, the planning, the CFP. So we decided to stick with like 4 conferences. So API Days came through for us, and they proposed some locations for us to host us actually for 2024. So which means that we are going to Helsinki in May 28th and 29th. Then we have London, which is happening in September. Then we have Paris. We are going back there in December as well. So also we have like a potential location that might happen in Lagos. But currently, as Lucas said, that the comfort tour needs to have a separate budget, of which we need to now start like acquiring sponsors for like who would like to sponsor the conference separately. So we have prepared like a sponsorship prospectus that will start sending out this week and next week. But so far we have like an all separate open source open collective page where it details what the sponsorship amount and the benefits for the conference. So that is what we have like in terms of locations. So we have 3 locations so far. So one in Helsinki, one in London, and one in Paris. And yeah, we might like in the middle if we still have like people who would like to sponsor, companies who would like to sponsor us. They are still open to also sponsor the Async Tour, the Async API Conference Tour. So far, I've decided to dedicate like this year, I'll be doing things differently. So every month, once in a month, I'll be hosting like monthly community meeting where I'll be updating like the status of the conference, where we are, how is the planning going, the creation of the website, how we are updating the website, where we need help, CFP, when we are announcing CFP, and just conference planning in general. So this year we'll be doing that. So I think by the first week of February, we might start like the first meeting, but I'll make sure that I'll post it on the community Slack. Then there was an idea that was open for discussion actually. So since Babanya has been doing like research on women in open source, I thought like maybe if we do get sponsorship, like if we do have like financial sponsorship on the conference tour, I was thinking maybe we can host like a brunch or lunch or dinner, like a women in open source dinner, something like that, along those lines, in one of the locations that we will have sponsorship. So it's something that I open a discussion, like people can jump in and just point their views and see if it's something we can do. But it can be only decided if we do get some money to sponsor this. So that's what we currently have on the conference tour. Any questions, additions?
No, I like the idea of the lunch, brunch, however we call it.
Or whatever. Yeah, the
Um,
women in open source lunch brunch, something, yeah, that we can host like during one of the conference days. Yeah. So the location is not finalized yet. So it's something that we can like decide at a later stage in terms of location. But also, as I said, it will all depend like with the amount that we get from the sponsorship. Yeah. And if people are willing to come to join in, so it's open for discussion. Yeah. Pedro, does it answer your question?
Yeah. It was. I mean, like, I was just curious about this. It would be like the same places confirmed, or well, but yeah, I imagine that some new places are going to be confirmed and so on. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so that is all for conference. As for the community building goals, we've already started with some topics. So Lucas has already spearheaded the contributor and maintainer guide. Let me share the link, because one of our plan this year is to also increase the amount of maintainers in the community, or committers. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly. So yeah, there's a new maintenance setup. Lucas, do you want to just give a short summary?
Oh yeah. So but it's just to make it like clear, it's kind of continuation of the experiment, I would say. We call it experiment in website. So basically website is like one of the most popular projects we have at Async API, and like it's really strange what's happening there. Like so many pull requests and issues, and it's really hard to manage with small amount of maintainers. So last year we opened up an issue calling out for people to volunteer to become maintainers, go through a training, and we basically managed to identify a new maintainer, but also a person that would fit more as an excellent support engineer. So something that we call here a triager. So person that is like a first point of contact for contributors, reviews issues, pull requests, close them if they're irrelevant. So basically make sure that there's no mess in the project, and we're really focused and working on things that we agreed that we work on, because like website was getting out of hands. So the continuation of this experiment is that we were proposing a bit different setup of maintenance for the website, which is not a rocket science that we reinvent. It's rather a inspiration from other open source projects. Also, it's not a first project in Async API with some custom governance setup. Like if you look on Modelina, they also have a custom governance model where they have a maintainers and champions. So some people are responsible for the whole project, and some just for a specific language generators. For example, in Modelina, they're called champions. Here, it's a bit different. It's basically a two-level maintainership. So you have a person with rights, with triage rights, which is called triager, and a committer that has maintainer rights, so can approve and merge pull requests. So that's basically the idea, which makes it much easier, especially in such large project as website, which is complex, and it's really hard to become a maintainer. So it's kind of making it much easier to become a maintainer, because you first can show that you're like you're interested with the project. You can start helping people in issues in pull requests and first become a triager. And then once maintainers see that basing on your answers and help you do in issues and pull requests, you showcase that you know the project very well and you also contributed, then it's much easier to invite you to another stage of maintainership, which you not necessarily have to do. Like because not everyone have time to be a full-time maintainer for the project. So sometimes somebody can just become a triager. And as a result, be invited to the organization, has the same rights as other maintainers. So also help the Async API initiative on a much bigger scale. So that's basically the idea. And of course, there are people that can do triage of issues related to code, but there's also an idea that we can do the same with docs. So if so Alejandra doesn't have to do the full maintenance of the whole project. If, for example, Alejandra identifies someone in the community that maybe cannot be yet a maintainer, but can already start helping as triager and then grow to the position of maintainer, then she can propose someone to join the project, which is, I think, nice way of giving back for a hard work, especially if people already contribute for months through some mentorship project.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And
so
as a
yeah,
result of this
so
work, of course, we will have to provide the documentation for in the website to explain like how to triage issues, how to be like what message to post to someone if issue has to be closed for some reason. So basically, we'll try to like formalize how be more strict with contributing guide, but still not be harsh and mean to others.
yeah, true. Yeah, so far one of our priorities is to increase number of maintainers, and I'm so excited to see how this experiment will go. And yeah, so also part of the goals is also to increase the community documentation. So far we only have a few topics that we would like to write on. And I'm so excited that now we have like an onboarding guide for technical writers, which makes it easy for us. So I'll be proposing like the new topics as well. So I'll be sharing those once I have the list done. For docs contributors as well. So get ready to be busy this year. But some of the topics that we will have is like how to become onboarding docs, like how to become an async contributor. Like Lucas said, we need to have some documentation. So that will also go like how to become a code owner or maintainer, triager or committer, what it means to become a TSC members, and also like to finish up their style guide as well. There are many more topics that will come up this year as well. So one of the priorities is to also increase the community docs. Yeah. Then for the initiatives and mentorship programs, we're still going to continue with the ambassador program, where Barbanyo is in charge of that. Then we have the bounty. Then we have the Async API mentorship / maintainership. Is something that we will propose later in the year after this mentorship. This cohort mentorship for 2023 ends. Then we'll also have like Google Summer of Code, Google Summer of Dogs, Hacktoberfest. Those are some of the initiatives that we have at Async API. Then on our goals, already I've touched on the conference. Then at a later stage, once we have everything ready, we'll have a public discussion on how we would like to continue with the training videos and there's courses. So it's something that we are cooking behind the scenes. So once it's ready, we will share it as a public discussion. So yeah, those are some of the goals that we have for 2024. I'm pretty much excited. Any questions, additions that you might have?
Maybe suggestion like especially
Mhm.
if it comes to the community docs, that so many
Mhm.
will probably come.
Mhm.
Maybe it will make sense use this community meeting, or maybe have a separate meeting where we gather people to share ideas about
Mhm.
how this contributor guides could look like.
Mhm.
Like, because there's like, for example, there's a lot of content that I know that has to be written, but
Mhm.
I will never be able to write it down. And I was recently thinking about an approach where I use some AI tool. I record a meeting and explain how things should be. Like basically, instead of documenting, I describe
Mhm.
the document, and then AI transcripts it as a input for the document. And
Okay.
then I ask ChatGPT to turn it into a nice document. And maybe this will at least speed up some work.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
stuff to write down, especially
Yeah,
related to
there
AI.
is. Mhm.
Yeah.
There is a lot of work when it comes to community documentation, but yeah, one step at a time. If we get like from my point of view, if you get started with onboarding docs, and then the rest should be easy. But yeah, one step at a time. Yeah, one step at a time, because we won't be able to fill up the documentation, the community docs in one go. So, I mean, we also have the bounty as well. So I think at a later stage, if we see like we have complex issues, we might post them on bounty as well. But yeah, like you said, we'll need to like utilize some community meetings where we can gather ideas as well and see what people think as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Okay. That will be all on my side of things. Pedro, do you have anything from your side?
Well, I didn't have anything prepared, but well, I can share with you guys what I'm involved right now during the last weeks. Which is well, basically I've been working along with Sergio in some issue about implementing measures, or metrics collection for measuring the async API adoption by the community.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, we are implementing this just on the command line interface on the CLI repo, just to track all the commands that executed by the users, async API users. And well, later we will implement this on Studio as well, or some other tools that will need this kind of tracking. So well, we are close to finish this implementation in CLI. We are making use of the New Relic API to, to send all the metrics that we are collecting. Later we will work on the visualization of all this data, of all these metrics to visualize these metrics on the async API website, basically. So yeah, I don't have anything yet to show you, but I hope that in the next meetings we'll have some data to make some kind of demo or something like that.
Okay.
Well, I
We
can
got a question.
I can share the pull request if you like. So
Yes.
yeah,
Please share a link. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we have a question from Maria on LinkedIn. So she's saying, as a dedicated fan of Async API, I want to express my gratitude for the fantastic web editor released last year. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. Moving forward, could you share any insights on upcoming features for Async API? Okay.
Async API, but Maria, you mean Async API in general or Async API editor? Because you mentioned the editor or the studio.
Okay, let's just answer like in general.
In general, it's gonna be
And
super
both.
hard. Okay.
I
So
know,
just
right?
so the like I mean it's gonna be super hard to answer. It's basically because Async API initiative, it's a huge project. It's not let's say controlled from one place. It's basically Async API initiatives is like umbrella for different projects. There are some people from Postman, some people from IBM, some people from different companies maintaining projects. So even if I share with you planned features for Async API, it's gonna be a opinionated information from just what I know. But what I can tell you, I know for sure there's a lot of investment in Studio. So just go to github.com/asyncAPI/studio is the web editor that you probably have in mind. I know that there's a lot of plans for it, basically to have more features, like visualizations of architecture, stuff like that. And probably an investment in not sure, I hope not new, probably investment in the existing plugins we have for VS Studio, because for Visual Studio we have Async API preview plugin, and also there's a separate plugin for JetBrains. So I think there's some work planned in these as well if it comes to editor. I can also share with you that Ace is working on super exciting 2 projects. One, exciting because I think they're exciting. Maybe they're not, but I really think they're exciting. It's because one is related to visualization of the Async API specification documentation. Because now when you want to read about Async API spec, you go to asyncAPI.com/docs/reference, and then you get a super huge description of Async API spec. And what he's working on is a visualization of these docs. So there's going to be like nice boxes floating on the screen with names of the elements that you usually see in Async API documents. So if so we're going to see, let's say, a component called Async API, then you're going to see a nice component called server. Once you click on it, you're going to see just documentation for the server. But when you expand it, you're going to see what fields are available to describe the server, and each of these will also have documentation generated. So pretty much fancier way of learning Async API when you start writing your Async API documents. The other super nice for the community, what should be, but it's in research phase, and Ace did not share yet details, but I'll share. Why not? I'll spoil the gift to the community. So he's basically researching how we could train our own AI model basing on what we know already about Async API. So basically checking with OpenAI or any other way how we can, because like, for example, cool thing about Async API is that we got a free workspace, premium workspace from Slack. So like last 3 years, everything, all the questions that were asked in Slack were answered by us in Slack. And the history is preserved. So basically the plan is to see if we can somehow extract all this information from Slack, extract all the discussions we have on GitHub, put it in the model, put the spec in the model, put all the docs in the model, all the examples of Async API, and see how much easier with some prompts we could maybe speed up Async API documents creation. So instead of typing YAML by hand, you can go to some Async API GPT, whatever we call it, and you can ask, hey, give me Async API document for Kafka with 5 clusters, blah, 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 stuff like that. And in theory, you're going to get a beautiful Async API document in return. So these are now some exciting stuff I'm aware of. But for others, like it's really hard to understand what other people, what they work on. But I think the best is if you go to asyncAPI.com, there's a newsletter that you can subscribe to. Thule provides a really detailed, really nicely written newsletters every month. So whenever something new is planned, something exciting or already released, then it's going to be in the newsletter.
Yes. So I hope that answers your question, Maria. You can also share your question also on Slack as well. You can join Slack. She replied, great. Great to know that plugins for VS Code and IDEA will be enhanced. Thanks for the response. I'm looking forward to using all these visualization and AI features. Great job. All right. I'm so glad that we answered your question. You can also join Slack as well, subscribe to the newsletter. You can also get like updates directly as they come. Yeah. All right. Like I said, that'll be all for me. Anything else that we might have left out?
No, I forgot how cool these community meetings are. I have to join.
Yeah, I mean, like, I even forgot, like, literally, like how community meetings I handle. But yeah, it's good to be back from the holidays.
New Year's resolution.
Looking forward.
Come to community
Yes.
meetings more often.
Exactly. Come to community meetings, join community meetings more often. It happens twice a month, twice a week. Is it twice a week? No, once in every 2 weeks, which
Yeah,
is
every
twice a month. Yeah, every Tuesday. So the next community meeting will be happening 8 a.m. UTC plus 2. Is it correct? Oh, 8 a.m. UTC in 2 weeks' time on Tuesday. Yeah. So I hope to see you there. We will be here. And I hope Ace will be better so that I can come and host community meetings again. Yeah. So that will be all for today. I think we can wrap up and go. All
Let's
right.
do it.
See you in 2 weeks, folks. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye.